Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's me, Kyle G. And as you see, we are here to play more Raging Loop. And let's just dive into this, see what the fuck is going on. Is there no sound playing right now? No, whatever. Chimmy gave me her... I'm already messing up. Chimmy gave me some cup ramen for breakfast. She boiled the water in a small electric kettle. The girl herself was too hungover to eat anything. I did take the opportunity to pay her back for last night's drink in person, though. Then we made our way to the dining hall. There we go. What are these boulders? They're like charms, I guess. They've been here forever. I've never seen anything like them anywhere else. Oh yeah, I guess they're kind of unique to this area. She led me along a narrower path than I'd followed earlier. It didn't seem like any cars used this one. It was very farmy, I guess. This area was also littered with those boulders. Some were cracked, broken, or half buried in the fields. They were clearly religious symbols, but it didn't look like they were that important these days. Or were they? Now that I knew I was safe, I once again became curious about this place. Oh, there's a person. He was working on the field. That's Takamine-chan. Morning. Jimmy waved her hand. The man responded, but then froze mid-wave. Let's go. Are you sure we should? The guy looked pretty surprised to see me. Don't worry. He'll be at the dining hall soon. We'll explain things then. Well, if she said so. As an outsider, I had no choice but to rely on her. I get the feeling... I don't know. She can be one of those, like, trick main female characters where it's like, oh yeah, she's totally our main, like, female character, our durotagonist or whatever, and then she's, like, actually, like, a murderer, or, like, the first person dead or something, straight up, like, from the first Danganronpa. This was part of the village I saw this morning, where the buildings were more densely packed. I didn't notice it back then, but it was actually kind of weird. Basically, it felt desolate. The wooden bungalows in particular were more or less overgrown, buried in tall grass and other greenery. If this was all I saw of the village and someone told me it was abandoned, I'd have easily believed them. However, two of the buildings stood out. There was a hall right beyond the hill. It wasn't that big, but it looked grand and well-maintained. The other building was obviously the dining hall. It looked a bit dirty, but I could tell there were people inside. From what I could tell, it was the most lively place in this poor excuse for a community. That's mean. Suddenly, the three students walked out, chatting about something. Chiene, and Fusaishi-san. Morning again. Aren't you late? We took forever because Mochi doesn't stop saying nonsense. Yes, I am evil. Give me miso soup. What the fuck? No, you'll make it if you hurry. Behave in class, you guys. Half dashing, the three ran up the path we came from. They're all in high school, huh? Yep, there's a branch school all the way up the mountain. I was going there myself 3 years ago. Sounds like a hassle. It's not all bad. At least we get to live in that dorm. Jimmy was entirely straight-faced. There wasn't even a hint of a smile. Alright, let's get psyched. Yeah. I'm not convinced. We laughed a little and passed the curtain. Welcome. Oh. The inside was as aged as the outside, but it looked well maintained. Is he a visitor, Chami-chan? The hostess-looking lady asked. Though somewhat aged and fatigued, she was definitely beautiful. There were two others beside her. One was a lady in her 70s or 80s. She was probably the one I saw this morning. The silhouette matched. The other was a man who seemed a bit younger than her, probably in his late 60s. Though they were just sitting there was a menacing aura about them. I'll introduce him. This is Haruaki Fusaishi. I found him at Saranaga last night and took him into my care. Their reactions were powerful. The lady gasped, while the two elders rose to their feet with alarm. The tension that was already there the moment I walked in reached its peak. I know you're concerned, but this is just a coincidence. Unlike that little girl, he knows exactly where he came from. He went on an old path with his bike and crashed. It's actually really sad. That's why I think we should help him leave. What do you think? After saying all that, Chami fell silent. the ball was in their court now. Now that is troubling. The lady voiced a harmless opinion, careful not to upset the old people. It was pretty clear who was in charge. They were elders, in more ways than one. Chi-chan, why did you even go to Saranaga at night? I had a hunch, I guess. You know what happened. I couldn't fall asleep. Then he's got to be a Yomibito. Shut it, Taibe. From the conversation, it was pretty clear that something had happened before I arrived here. It was probably similar to what happened with me. She'd mentioned some little girl. Perhaps there was a child who'd wandered in here like I did. According to Chiemi, the Saranaga Rapids were a place of significance around here. It was a place from which dead people came to life or whatever. Oh, so this Tai must be the E-lady the Boyd mentioned, and the Yombito must have been a term for the dead who come from there. Apparently the primary goal here was convincing these elders to approve helping me. Where are you from? The old man's voice put my derailed mind back on track. I'm from Tokyo. How old are you? 24? Older than she, eh? He chuckled. I immediately realized he was taking a jab at me for hiding behind a younger girl. Nice to meet you. I'm Haruaki Fusaishi. Like she said, I wandered into town after my bike crashed. I seem to be a total outsider here, so I don't want to speak out of turn. That's why I asked her to talk on my behalf. But I think I should say something at least. I won't trouble you any longer than I have to, so I would be grateful if you pardon my brief stay. And please don't blame her for helping me. Hey, Haruaki-san. I think she went against this village's customs by helping me out. The students also seem surprised. My. I'm an adult. I'm willing to take responsibility for any trouble I caused, as best I can. So, please put up with me. I bowed my head. He seems all right to me, Taiba. Don't know about that. Look at his hair, all colored brown. Okay, I'm not sure which one is which. Shit, I forgot I didn't look very presentable to more traditionalist people. Outsiders are all like that. Just help them get out of here, I says. Do what you want. I guess I got their half-hearted approval. Haruaki. Haru, huh? Like my granddaughter. What a mess. Oh, so that means you're... Yep, he's Haru-chan's grandpa, Kanzo Makishima. A pleasure. I didn't know what else to say. Haru-chan and I weren't on the best of terms so far. Anyway, it seemed like we were past the difficult part. Drove into Saranaga, eh? No, actually. I asked for directions to the convenience store, went down a side road, and ended up losing control on an unpaved section. And then you went in Saranaga. Why didn't you turn around? He wasn't impressed by my choice of actions. It just hit me that I had no idea how much time passed between the crash and my meeting with Chiemi. Takumi and I'll go see to it. Go see it. Takumi's working in the field. It's to get him to leave. Let the boy help. You never change, Kanchan. What's going on here? We're joined by a new inhabitant. Jimmy, who's that guy? Oh, Takumi Nichan. Oh, so here's the one we saw in the field. Wow, he sure looked big from up close. Well, that field work was good for his muscles, clearly. And from what I could tell, he was in his 30s. As Chiemi introduced me and told him of my situation, I found out his name, Takumi Moro. Man, that must have been hard. It's old man Kanzo. We'll pick it up. Thought so. Taiba-chan, wait a bit while I help the guy. I already spread the stuff in the fields, so I'll mow the grass at noon. What a good boy. It ain't a big deal. I'll be so quick you'll think nothing happened. Good to hear. Nothing, eh? Boy. Well, me? What is it? You're in Yasumizu. It ain't a good place. What? That's not a good thing to hear from somebody who lives here. It was the place that wasn't good? Not my presence here. We don't like outsiders here, and outsiders should let sleeping dogs lie. So you should hurry and leave. That's the plan. So it's settled? Yep. Thanks, Takumi-chan. I was beginning to understand how things worked here. Although Kanzo Makishima's voice was the most powerful here, it was also important to get Tai-san's approval. Kanzo-san was probably in charge of tackling the settlement's practical problems, while Tai-san provided spiritual and moral direction. And when it was time to be civilized, Takumi-san came and convinced Tai-san, acting as an intermediary. It looked like Takumi-san himself understood such subtleties, and Chami seemed to rely on this side of him. Here you go. The lady brought some tea to the old folk. Perfect timing. Oh, Kari-san. Looking forward to getting some food. So that was her name. Sure, I'll make a lot. It'll be a reward for waking up early and working hard. Hey, I'm doing it for Yasumizu, Bachan, and you. It's nothing, really. Oh my. These two sure seem to get along. They looked about the same age, too. Would you like something to eat, too? Oh, no, thank you. I already ate. Then here's some tea. I can also get you a light snack if you'd like. What would you say to some onigiri? Ooh, that would be... Sorry, can we borrow the phone? We'll need it quick. Oh? Sure, but why not have some tea first? Thanks, but it's urgent. Let's go, Haruaki-san. Sure. It didn't look like I could say no. We went up the nearby stairs to what seemed like a living space. At the end of the creaky hallway, there was a black rotary phone. A rarity in this day and age. This is the only phone in all of Yasumizu, by the way. Seriously? Oh, and not a single mobile service provider works in this area. Really? Wait, who do you want me to call anyway? Road service, insurance, stuff like that. And family, if you have to. Oh, that made sense. Hell, I should have been the one to say that. Like I said, it'd be best if you left as soon as possible, so you should use everything you have. Because outsiders aren't welcome here? Yep. And I shouldn't pry any further, huh? Haruaki-san, I see you catch on quickly. That's good. But you also seem really curious. It shows, huh? Of course it does. Honestly, though, you should avoid sticking your nose into things. Because we'll part ways soon, anyway. Exactly. That's kind of sad. Oh? You want my contact info? If you're willing to give. Yay! That makes you guy number 53 on the list. Damn, if that ain't a letdown. We still went on to exchange our info. I can only hope that being number 53 wasn't as big a problem as it sounded. Anyway, I'd still like to know the reason why me being here is such a big deal. I don't recommend it. But why? Because it'd make me upset. You don't like it here? Yeah, I actually hate it. You seem to get along with the people, though. That's just how it looks. I was a huge problem child, so I feel kind of awkward around the older folk here. And there's tons of things you can't see right away. Oh, but I can't say I actually hate the people. With that, I decided to stop prying about this place any further. I'd back away before she came to hate me. Oh, can I ask one thing, though? Ooh, gutsy. Go ahead. Do you like that Takumi Muro guy? What? Me? Like him? Yeah. No way. Takumi Nishan's cool and all, but he's too rugged and over a decade older than me. He's out of my strike zone. And he's always only had eyes for Kaori-san. It sure felt like it. They married or something? Nope. Kaori-san's a widow. Well, that seemed complicated. That aside, Chami had been acting a bit strange. Why had she dragged me away from the tea? It seemed so awkward, too. Assuming she hadn't been jealous of Kaori-san and simply didn't want her to charm me, it would mean that she just hadn't wanted me to drink the tea. Why? Also, why'd she feed me cup ramen if I could have just gotten food at the dining hall? Looking too deep into things was part of my nature. Though things were never as bad as I assumed. I think this is not one of those situations where that's the case. I feel like it's like 110% worse than you assume. I went on to call my insurance company where I found out something. Apparently, this village was hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest service station. Meaning was I was ineligible for normal service and had to pay extra. And that extra was no small amount, too. It actually went over 100,000 yen. That's like about $1,000 for those of you who don't know. Also, I could have avoided this if I'd taken a more expensive plan. This was all my own fault for not taking the bike salesman's advice. Shit. I said I would consider it and hung up. Then I went back to the dining hall. Huh? Where'd everybody go? The customers had changed completely. Tai-san, Kanzo-san, and Takumi-san were gone now. They were replaced by a caricature of a juvenile delinquent. The fuck are you? He shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopsticks on the table and stood up to intimidate me. I'm Haruaki Fusaishi. The hell? You want to go? Goodness, Yoshitsugu, you don't talk like that to someone you just met. Shut up, hag. Genie, the hell's this asshole? Haruaki-san, a traveler who crashed his bike. Boy, was that introduction half-assed. Let me introduce them to you. This is Kaori Oribe and her second son, Yoshitsugu-kun. Yasunaga-kun's the first. Huh? Yasunaga-kun? The guy you introduced me to this morning? Yep. They may not look it at first, but they're alike, don't you think? The Oribes. What an unpredictable family. Stop talking about bro, you ugly bitch. Whoa. Comment that all you want. I'm confident in my popularity. And from what I've seen, that confidence was well justified. Fuck off back to the city, you idiot. Stupid dumbass. Oh no, Haruaki-san, I don't think I can argue with that. What, you were an idiot? Alrighty then. Stupid, you're stupid. Oh, how mean. Join me, Yoshitsugu-kun. Stupid. What the hell? Don't talk shit about Shieni. You're pretty conflicted, aren't you? Sorry, Jamie-chan, I was just playing. Wow, one nice reversal after another. Takes quite a man to surprise me. I just don't want to lose to you, that's all. You dating or something? Boy, did I wish. Stop it, Yoshitsugu, you're already late. Change and go to school. Shut up! I ain't going. Mumbling something, the kid walked out of the dining hall, leaving his half-full bowl behind. I'm sorry about that, how embarrassing. He's a really good boy deep down, though. Yeah, I could actually see that, somewhat. By the way, where are Makishima-san and Muro-san? Yeah, they went to pick up your bike. Oh no. I gotta hurry after them. Hey, they know where it is. They'll be fine, don't you think? Well, you just have to set it on neutral and push, but I'm not sure they'll know how to do it. And I, of all people, should help. They might go about it the wrong way. If that's all, then you shouldn't bother. Why? Because you're an outsider. I wouldn't suggest spending too much time alone with them. They didn't seem that bad to me. That's because they're adults. Don't assume everyone here is as welcoming as me. I'm an exception. You might get along fine, but you might also set them off. This place is already far from normal. Don't risk making it worse. She's right. I say, they insisted you leave it to them, so that's what you should do. You think so too? Yes. The men here are pretty serious about Yasumizu having its own way of doing things. I can somewhat understand that. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place for sure. Where do we wait then? At my place. Expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally you'd expect we'd sit around and drink some tea right here, so why didn't we? As we waited, Shemi, casually but uncomfortably, told me several things. First, I found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I'd assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently yesterday morning a little girl was found straying around the Saranaga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were, so they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. Like I'd been told, the more superstitious inhabitants, Tai-san mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Shaime didn't seem to think it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. That's not good. And apparently the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering info for a magazine article. Unlike the little girl and I, they'd come here via the normal route through Kamifujioshi, and therefore weren't considered a bad omen or whatever. Still, even normal outsiders? What the fuck? Still, even normal outsiders put the people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. Map time! Yasumizu was a settlement part of an autonomous region called Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It had also been on the map I'd been shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split into 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kamifujiyoshi. I really gotta get that down because I feel like I'm gonna say it a lot. Kami Fujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Going to Kami Fujiyoshi took about an hour by foot, or 20 minutes by car on the winding but paved road. Side note, the school the students went to wasn't Kami Fujiyoshi. These two settlements had ties so strong they shared customs and culture. Chami said the local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she would say was that Yasumizu had special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. He is just horny for her. It was nearly noon when Takumi-san came back, ending my waiting game. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time we waited. It was probably Chami's way of saying that nothing bad was happening here. Man, bikes sure are heavy, huh? Ain't as heavy as the boar I almost said boat. I'm like, you don't have a boat here. Ain't as heavy as the boar I caught last year. I really didn't expect them to just carry it here. Like, sure, there were two of them, but just how much mass did you have to haul a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and the river made my sweet ride really damn muddy. How did you bring it up the cliff? There's a pulley. We bring stuff up from the bottom every now and then. Takumi. Oh, yeah, now's not the time for that. Hey, you think this thing's alright? It looks pretty damn wet. I'm not sure. I'll check. I'll leave the rest to you then. Oh man, this took longer than I thought it would. It'd fine if I do the sharpening tomorrow. I saw them off with a loud, thank you! Now then. Need help? I'll see what I can do by myself first. The worst part of the repairs was right at the beginning. I wanted to start by washing it, but that old lady, Tai Yamawaki was her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any Saranaga mud on the ground here because it was corrupt or something. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to a water supply tap, so I did my best to convince her to let me wash it as close to the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I could start checking what was wrong with it. It actually looked pretty good. Bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. The only problem was that both tires were flat. And it was a pretty big one. You didn't bring tools? No. Aren't you supposed to whenever you go on a bike trip? I just thought I could call road service and they'd do all the work. So unprepared. I have no excuse. Honestly, I was having a moment when I went out. Didn't think things through. Oh, can I ask what happened? My girlfriend left me. That seems like a lie. It wasn't. In any case, anywhere I could get tools to fix a flat tire? There might be some in No-Sato Mansion. I think that was a mistake. They attributed his line to her, I think. No-Sato Mansion? Yep, it's the biggest place in Yasumizu. If you can't find something there, you won't find it anywhere else in the village. I see. Then let's give it a shot. I don't really recommend meeting the guy, but I can't think of any other ideas. Someone important again? Yep, and he's kind of messed up to boot. That doesn't sound good. And so we walked up the hill and arrived at this so-called No-Sato Mansion. From what I could tell, it was located at the highest point in the settlement. And, like Chami said, it was definitely a hell of a building. It had an elegant western design, which would probably look even better if the place were better maintained. The yard was overgrown, and the building itself was pretty much buried in ivy and small trees. If someone told me it was cursed, I'd instantly believe them. Did people actually live here? I wonder if the intercom works. She pressed a button next to the aged iron gate. Yasumizu was a quiet place, so I could easily hear the bell ring inside. Should we try again? Let's not. We'll piss him off. Moody guy, huh? Moody? Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I wasn't sure what she meant, but I opted to just wait rather than ask more questions. Soon enough, the person in question walked out of the mansion. What is it? Who are you? He wasn't young, but he didn't look middle-aged either. He certainly looked high-strung, that much for sure. Hello, No-Sato-san. It's Serizawa. I know you, Chami Serizawa. I'm asking the young man with you. Haruaki-san. This is, Kiyonosuke No-Sato-san. Kyonosuke-san, this is Haruaki Fusaishi. He got into an accident. That instruction was the briefest one yet. Huh? What? I explained the situation again, he furrowed his brow when I mentioned the Saranaga, in addition to the reason we were here. So I need repair tools so I can get out of here as soon as possible. Are the tires tubeless? Huh? I have patches, but I think fixing tubeless tires would be a bit too much for an amateur. Though there's no problem if you aren't. Oh, but if the tube bursts, you'd have no choice but to change it. I don't have any spares here, obviously, and I wouldn't give them if I did. Sorry, but I'm not too knowledgeable about that. What a waste of time. I recommend spending however many thousands you need to have repairmen come and pick you up. I had no retort to that. Oh, but No-Sato-san, I don't think we can have any more outsiders come here right now. Huh? Haven't you been to a proper city? Don't tell me you still believe that nonsense. I'll be fine with it, but I doubt the elders would be. We've had too many visitors these past few days. I don't care what you Yasumizu peasants think. What do you expect me to do anyway? Fix the tires myself and get oil all over me? Oh, I'd never suggest that. I just think that a Fujiyoshi village head should help a troubled visitor. How about that? How about instead of relying on me only when it's convenient, you just give him a traditional Yasumizu welcome? You know, throw him off the cliff? Whoa, what the hell? Come on, you can't say that. Jimmy's tone was slightly off. I could feel a bit of irritation behind her words. I know it might be a bother, but can you at least lend me the tools? What? I'll just borrow them. You won't hear or see me work. I can even pay. Well, I don't mind that much, but I want compensation for anything you break. Student or not, I'll have you act proper. Then he pointed me to the garage and walked back to the mansion. Man, I thought we were screwed there. What the hell's a burst tube? Wow, that's so lame. What, you think every biker can fix a bike just by bashing it with a wrench or something? I don't know, but aren't there a lot of girls who are into guys good with cars and stuff? Oh, so you're into No-Sato? Nope, he's just acting like he's smart. He's probably never repaired a thing in his life. The guy's not nearly as experienced as he'd have you think. Huh? Then why does he have bike repair stuff? The No-Sato mansion is basically the Yasumizu branch of the No-Sato family. Their main mansion is in Fujiyoshi. Whatever they don't need there, they send over here. I heard Kyonosuke was given a car 5 or 6 years ago, but he couldn't drive it at all, so it's been gathering dust ever since. Damn, that was the countryside for you. Couldn't hide your shame if your life depended on it. Anyway, I now knew that the man was the condescending, pretentious type. He still helped me out, though, and it was true I didn't know much about bike repairs, so I couldn't really get mad. Anyway, let's just take everything that looks like it'd be useful. Like bandits, huh? I'm in. Sure I'm not bothering you? I'd feel down without anyone to talk to. Just keep chatting with me, it helps. The instructions that came with the repair kit told me that my bike's tires were a rather difficult type to repair. Apparently I had to remove the tires, but where did I even start with that? Well, as long as I didn't break it, nothing I did could be worse than having to call road service down here, so I just tried taking it apart. But as I removed whatever nuts I could, I made the situation even worse than it was. Yeah, this really wasn't a job for an amateur. You seem to be having a rough time. You can eat this too, Chammy-chan. Wow, thank you. Well, this looks serious. Man, machines are just no good. Hey, the benefits of culture are great as long as they don't break. Munch, munch. You think you can fix it before sundown? That might be hard. Don't worry, though. Worst comes to worst, I'll do something. Num 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 num. I really appreciate how she handled the visitors in my stead. Hey, Chieni, is it hard to get a bike license? I don't know. I know that scooter licenses are easy. I have one myself. Munch, munch. She just keeps eating. Mid-sized bike licenses are pretty hard to get. You need to take a course, just like with cars. You like bikes? The hell? What's the matter to you? How much was that anyway? 800,000 yen. Brand new. Holy shit, what the hell? That's way too high. You an idiot or what? How'd you get that much? Part-time jobs and all that. And he got into an accident. Poor Haruaki-san. Munch, munch. Chame-sensei, if I may ask, what happened to my share of the food? Oh no, I ate it all. Poor Haruaki-san. Okay. So there's a reason why she is preventing me from eating any of the food or drinks in this village, and that worries me. A lot. And she's trying to be very chill and nonchalant about it, but like, yeah, no, there's something up. I mean, we knew that, but like, there's something up about the food. I didn't want sympathy from the one responsible. As I told her off for not leaving me any food, I somehow removed the tires. I could only hope I'd be able to fix this up. If I'd had this thing for less than a month, but the trouble it was putting me through made it feel somewhat dear to me. I wanted to fire it up again and make it go as fast as it could. Suddenly, I heard an engine. It felt like it was mocking me. Hold on. An engine? Here? I stopped working and turned around to see an unfamiliar van drive into the plaza. It must be the reporters. Barring the classic-looking piece of junk in No-Sato's garage, this was the first time I'd seen a car here. As far as I knew, no one living here actually owned a running car, so... Those are the journalists I told you about. I knew it. Once the van stopped, a lady stepped out of it. Hello! Oh, she's pretty. Hello. I'll be bothering you again today. You're a new face. Hello, my name's Haruaki Bike Crash. Don't be so hard on yourself. Crap, that was no time for an inside joke. I quickly introduced myself properly. I crashed not too far away, so I'm stuck here for the time being. I see. So you're a student. Sorry about the trouble you're going through. Oh, and this is me. The woman gave me her business card. Hisato Mamiya, a freelance writer. Her pen name was Kyoko Hosei. Have you ever read Kyoko Hosei's articles? Sorry. I figured. I'm not a big name yet, and the magazines I do get printed on are marketed for housewives and the elderly. That's some pretty intense competition. What do you write, anyway? Food reviews. I specialize in unusual dishes. Like the foulest-smelling canned food in the world or something? Yep. Well, your usual brand of weirdness doesn't attract much attention these days, so I'm looking for minor culinary oddities local to Japan. Anyway, if you know any weird dishes from your hometown, do tell me. I travel the length of Japan to give it a try. A student from the lab I frequented once made pork miso soup with a mushroom we found on campus. We had mass hallucinations, and no flashes of brilliance or poisons, please. As we chatted, I became curious. By the way, weren't there two of you? Yes, I'm here with a partner. He just needs some time to... Oh, there he is. I looked at the van and became completely awestruck. I felt like the van had shed its skin or something. That made no sense. But seriously, how did this fit in there? Oh my god. He was gargantuan. Takumi-san was something, but this man was on the level of a foreign heavyweight wrestler. Though, unlike Takumi-san, this man was primarily fat rather than muscle. As he walked out of the driver's seat, the van shook wildly. Yudai Hashimoto-san, a photographer. He's way more famous than me. He works in all sorts of fields. I imagine you've seen some of his photos without even knowing it. I didn't know much about photography, but I was definitely convinced. There was a certain kind of authority, or gravity, around him. Get it? Because he has a lot of mass. He has his own gravitational field. Ha 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 ha! He wasn't saying a word, and I couldn't tell what he was thinking. Nice to meet you. I'm Haruaki Fusaishi. Is he even alive? Hello. After a strange pause, he slowly bowed like a moving mountain he was, and greeted me with a voice like a titan. He seemed somewhat difficult to interact with. This is your last day here, isn't it? Yes. Oribe said she'd let me try her prized Shishinare. I don't know if an outsider can handle it. I have my stomach medicine. I'm sure I'll be fine. And so Mamiya-shi and Hashimoto-shi walked off to the dining hall. Who would have thought that such a beauty was a delicacy hunter? I had to admit, that gal was kind of charming. As intrigued as I was, I couldn't waste any more time. I had to fix my bike already. Whoa. A lot of things that surprised me here in Yasumizu, but nothing as much as this. Hello? No reaction. At first, he looked like a poor man too senile to think and perceive properly. You need something from me? I made sure to speak as clearly as possible. It didn't look like he understood. I figured it was best just to ignore him and resume the repairs, but... Coming! I looked at him again. He was still just standing there like his soul and brain had left his body. vacant stare, yellowed eyes, half-open mouth covered in saliva. Coming! He spoke again. What's coming? What? His voice is too hoarse to make it out. The werewolf! Come again? I placed my hand against my ear. He finally understood what I wanted and prepared to whisper something. I brought my ear closer, and... The wolf is coming! The sudden shout caught me completely off guard and made me fall to the ground. He looked down at me, laughing. He clapped and opened his half-toothless mouth in a wide smile. The wolf is coming! The wolf is coming! He bent his body in a weird way, laughed like he was convulsing, turned around, and just left. Haruaki-san, oh, I'm too late. Shimi had joined the journalists and only just came back. Late for what? Gramps over there loves messing around with strangers like that. Wait, that's your grandpa? No. I don't even know his name. He's been in Yasumizu forever, and he's always like that. It felt less like he was just messing around and more like he's a bit... touched? Yep, everyone calls him the old man who cried wolf. Named after the boy who cried wolf, I assume? Doesn't work as well, though. Wolves, eh? As far as I knew, there were no wild wolves in Japan. There used to be, but after the last sighting in either the Meiji or Showa era, they've been considered extinct here. Modern Japan's image of wolves came from Western fairy tales and the like. It wasn't linked to anything in our culture or life. Even the boy who cried wolf was a Western tale. Did his brand of insanity make him repeat the tale or something? A bit weirded out by the circumstances, I went back to repairing my bike. After a bit more time, I somehow took off the rubber from the tires and removed the tubes. Both tires were pierced by some really rusty nails. Fuck. This kind of stuff only happened at the worst of times. Then I applied the patches and filled them with air using a manual pump. I wet the tubes. There were no bubbles, meaning no air was leaving them. Things were looking good. After the high schoolers came back from school and passed by, no one else stopped to talk. Chummy was looking a bit bored now. I think I got it. Seriously? But it all seems so hopeless. Well, sorry. Though I still need to rebuild this. That's going to be a lot of work. And you'll be able to leave then? Yeah. Believe me, I know I shouldn't stay here long. I can take a hint. That's great. She didn't seem to care that much. Guess I had no chance with her, huh? You've been at this for hours. How you holding up? Need a break? Well, I'd be better if a certain someone didn't take away my lunch break. Hey, I gave you some crackers, didn't I? Like that was enough to state a guy... Like that was enough to state a guy in his mid-20s. Still, I'm pretty fine. I'll push forward a bit more. He's full of himself. I'm pretty fine, baby. Oh, yeah. I'll push forward a bit more. You can go if you want. I've been introduced to just about everyone here. There's 2 people you haven't met yet. Really? No, there was no real need to, right? I'll stay around a bit longer. I came back here because I was bored, and it's not like I'm busy. Can you play around with your 52 guy friends? I take it back. I came back because I wanted to be bored. Living in the city is so annoying and tiring, especially with 52 guys texting you all the time. Oh. Sorry, I lied about the 52 guys. Why? Because I wanted to keep you in check, I guess? Why would she pull a tactic like that, only to reveal her hand? Hey, did you really get dumped by your girlfriend? And now she asked me that. I did. Honest. I see. Well, after that relentless assault, it wouldn't be fair unless I played my own card. Want to come with? No, it's 2-seater? Yeah, there's even an extra helmet. It's not dry yet, though. I'm obviously leaving soon, so unless you have something planned, you can join me. We can even go on a bike tour. If we had enough time, I can take you anywhere. Flexible, open to fine-tuning, wild, and charming. This was a good date invitation, if I said so myself. That sounds great, and I have no plans. Oh? I'll go get my stuff, then. Jimmy smiled and turned around to head to her place. She then looked back at me and... You should hurry before I change my mind. Yeah, sure. Well, that made me motivated. This was one tiring trip, but at least I met someone good along the way. I just forget everything I didn't want to remember while on the road with her. I could only hope that clever girl and I would eventually grow closer. With that ulterior motive in mind, I resumed rebuilding the bike. Seriously, he's super horny for her. After several failed attempts, I was finally making some good progress, putting the bike back together. Afternoon had passed, and it was almost evening. At the rate I was going, I'd definitely be working while it was dark. Would that even be possible? It might be way past midnight by the time I was done. Jimmy might dump me for that. Oh man, life sure was hard. The plaza I'd worked in was now totally empty. There was no one around me. All I could hear was the wind, the frogs, and the tools in my hands. It was desolate, to say the least. I suddenly felt really weak, made me keenly aware of being in a place I didn't belong, and that I was preparing to escape. It was an oppressive atmosphere, like the bars of a cage that were slowly swinging shut. What's this, Haruaki? Think you're gonna get attacked or something? I tried to laugh it off, but it didn't work. As I became more conscious of my surroundings, I began to hear things I hadn't noticed before. I heard a voice. Someone was singing? It was an inarticulate little girl's voice. I stopped my work. Before I knew it, I put my tools down and gone looking for the source. Was I that starved for human presence? Or did the malaise make me feel like I was in danger? I walked down the hill to where the song came from. Passing the tall grass, I arrived. Guardians are... It was a strange sight. The field was covered in tall grass. There were countless rocks peeking out of it. Unlike the boulders all over Yasumizu, these were only up to my waist. They looked like gravestones. 6, the bad jar hums along great with a ray of bricks. I don't know the beat of this. The field extended into the dusky western sky before ending in a cliff. This was the lowest spot in Yasumizu, the border to Saranaga. There was a large pine resting at the edge. That's a pine? That's not a pine tree. Ate the donut bologna, rice snows on the mountain. That's gibberish. The evening sun, the stones, and the pine shadow gave the field a strange aura. A little girl was running through it. Her steps were awkward. At this moment, the space was alien. I felt like I was looking at a Giorgio de Chirico. I'm not cultured. The Giorgio de Chirico painting. The place felt like it didn't belong in this world. Suddenly, I came to understand that this place was special. It was a sacred, mystical ground where no outsiders were welcome. The girl fell. Are you okay? I run to with no hesitation the little girl. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? Ah. Help up. Half-crying girl. Muddy clothes. New graves on band-aid covered kneecap. What is going on? I'm very confused about what's going on right now. I console little girl. Push away. Run. Someone? Appears girl saw me once. What is going on? This is totally... Or saw once. Me. Prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. Girl, weave, incomprehensible phrase. Hide behind, little girl, fear and hostility. Eyes. Run. Girl, hug, little girl, warn me. You probably won't make it. But run. Me, girl, behind. Me, girl, behind, mist. Mist. Me, girl, behind, mist. 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 Me, girl, behind, mist. Me. Turn around. Run. Where? In a daze, I came back to the plaza. Suddenly, Chami shook me, bringing me back to my senses. Where were you? Sorry, I'll finish the job now. It's too late, you idiot. You won't make it in time. You've got to hide. I couldn't understand what she was getting at. What are you doing? Go to your room right now. But Haruaki-san's... Forget the outsider. Old man Kanzo and I'll check the other places. Stop wasting time and go back to yours. I couldn't understand. What were these two doing? What scared them so much? It didn't take long for me to find out. Oh, we're picking up now, boys. I looked down the hill. From Saranaga, beyond the field I'd just been in, came a rising haze. It was so dense you could easily call it mist. It moved strangely, like a living creature, as it flowed into the plaza. Haruaki-san, over here. Jimmy pulled me by the hand. What's going on? My head feels like it weighs a ton. Deal with it. You've got to find a place you can lock the doors. You'll die if you don't. What do you mean? Tell me. Please, don't ask questions. Just do as I say. Just this once. Albeit hesitantly, I did as she said. We ran up the hill and crossed a rice field path until we made it to a simple outhouse. This should be fine. Seriously, what's going on? And sure, that was a hell of a miss, but this won't protect me, right? Listen, there's no time to explain, so please, just do what I say, and only that. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. My mind was pretty clear by this point, so much so that I began to wonder why it was clouded until now. Because of that, I could easily understand exactly what Shammy just said, despite how weird it was. I could also see she was really desperate. Oh, I need a lot of keys to not do that. Hide in the outhouse. That's a hell of an order. Haruaki-san? Just so you know, pulling that off is pretty hard. But I do. I'd like a good reward and an explanation. Sure, I'll tell you everything. So please, survive the night. The words, the teary smile. None of it looked fake. See you then. You gotta hurry, right? Yep. Haruaki-san? What? I'll tell you tomorrow. Leaving me one hell of a homework assignment. Shammy ran off. Oh, she's dead, isn't she? The plaza was covered in mist by now. I could see it rising to take over the fields, too. Anyway, a promise was a promise. Yeah, I would have done anything she said at that point. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. You got it. 10 minutes later, I began to wonder what I was doing. Was I really supposed to spend the night here? This outhouse wasn't like a prefab you'd find in construction sites. It was just a shack built by hand. It merely happened to have a toilet unit installed. It was Japanese style, so I couldn't even sit down. All I could do was stand. Another problem. It was the type of toilet that periodically had to be pumped empty, so the smell was really bad. Sure, there was a cover on the toilet unit, but without any kind of air freshener anywhere, the smell of ammonia could only do so much. The only good thing about being here was that if I had to go to the toilet, well, mission complete. But what of it? Again, was I really supposed to spend the night here? The question quickly made me realize how stupid this was, and I began making assumptions to make this easier for myself. Was I being pranked? Or was everyone here just crazy? Hell, the mist had already filled the surroundings, and there was no way that this shabby outhouse protected me from it. The air here already felt misty and damp. The temperature here was low, so I could still bear it somewhat, but staying here all night would make me all wet. Again, I wasn't safe from the mist here. That considered, I'd probably be better off sleeping in the grass outside than staying here. The reasonable part of my mind urged me to stop playing along with these hicks. However, get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. Sure, I'll tell you everything. So please, survive the night. My sense of duty made it hard for me to break the promise I'd made to her. Actually, that wasn't quite true. I was more intrigued of the prospect of learning more about this place. Anyway, I took the time to compile what I'd found out today. This was the Yasumizu settlement, a special part of Fujiyoshi. It was situated right next to the Saranaga Rapids. The people living here were Shami Sarazawa, Yasunaga Oribe, his family, Kaori Oribe and Yoshitsugu Oribe, Chikamochi Kamoshida, Haru Makishima, her granddad Kanzo Makishima, Tai Yamawaki, Takumi Moro, Kinosuke No-Sato. It seemed like he was from Kamafujiyoshi, the place on the other side of the mountain, but for some reason he lived here now. And finally, the old man who cried wolf! Those were the 11 people I'd met, and Shami said I had 2 more left. That can only mean that the 2 I'd met by that pine were the ones. A little girl. She was probably the child that strayed into Saranaga yesterday morning. And then there was the fantastical-looking white-haired woman clad in strange clothing. She was probably the one I'd seen in the morning. The fact that I'd seen her twice made it likely that she was indeed real. But with how mysterious this place was, I couldn't rule out the possibility that she was an illusion. Seriously, that section at the tree was fucking weird. According to Chiemi, the little girl was being looked after by someone in the village, so I can only assume that the white-haired woman was the one. If I counted the little girl, it would mean that Yasumizu had 13 inhabitants. Then there were the 2 journalists, Hisako Mamiya and Yudai Hashimoto. Add me to that, and you had a total of 3 outsiders, but I'd put that aside for now. Anyway, time for an assessment. Yesterday morning, the little girl strayed into Saranaga. To make it worse, no one, not even herself, knew anything about her. She instantly got branded as an ill omen. The next day, Chiemi, who was in Saranaga for some reason, found me there. They recognized me as a proper lost person, but since I came through Saranaga, I was also branded as an ill omen. From what Kiyonosuke No-Sato said, it was safe to assume that it used to be customary to throw people like us into Saranaga. And then there was the mist. The girl said something mysterious. Prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. I can only assume it was related to the same superstitions. After all, the mist came from Saranaga itself. It and the river seemed to be central to the local customs and ideas. With that in mind, how was it dangerous? What was going to happen now? Yomibito, as in people from Yomi, the ancient Japanese land of the dead? Dead people came back through Saranaga, and they were corrupted. Well, that gave them some wild ideas. Was there some sort of pathogen in Saranaga that rose up with the mists? Did it turn people into zombies? Was I about to be part of a Japanese Resident Evil? Wait, that was already Japanese. What if you had a 10% chance to be infected by the mists, but a 100% chance to be infected by another person? That'd explain why everyone had to isolate themselves like this. If I became a zombie, I probably wouldn't have the mind to unlock the door. So basically, by locking myself in here, I was quarantining myself. I hadn't put all that much thought into that. That seemed like a good story. Sure, stuff like the boulders and the wolves didn't fit anywhere into my idea, but it was still interesting. Then again, I knew this was Hicksville and all, but a superstition that science could explain so easily really survived the modern world. It seems so weird. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. Don't make a sound? To be frank, the reason why I spent so much time on those delusions was because I was scared of things I didn't know or understand. In the past, people used to attribute stuff like natural phenomena and diseases to gods, devils, yokai, and then did nothing but fear them. They were scared of these manifestations of monsters and whatnot, but on the other hand, it was better than not seeing or not knowing what they really were. The fact that you could die to things you couldn't see or understand made life really unreasonable and unfair. That was why it was very logical to give things names and mental images in order to recognize and memorize them. My fear of things I didn't know was the same, except I wasn't satisfied with just labels or hypotheses. I needed to reach the truth. That aside, what I was feeling right now wasn't a fear of the unknown. It was a realistic, practical fear of something that could endanger my life. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. That meant that outside lurked something dangerous that could hear sounds. Perhaps it was the so-called dead that rose up from the river. Or maybe, assuming I was right with my Saranaga sickness theory, it was people that came out and beat the shit out of all the diseased who didn't follow the rules. The wolf is coming. Maybe the wolf was the title given to the killer? Suddenly I heard a scream in the distance. No! No! No, 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 no! You dumb idiot! That's my only choice? Fuck me. Well, we're probably about to die. Go out and take a look. Dummy. Wow. That was some timing. Right as I was about to form a new hypothesis. The proof connecting all of it suddenly came to me. It was right outside. It had gotten really dark. There were no lights anywhere. The darkness was fear. Unperceived equals unknown equals dangerous equals scary. Leaving this place was dangerous. Dangerous equals scary equals scary equals scary equals scary. Scary things were scary, no matter how much logic you applied. But I couldn't discard my desire to get to know the fear and conquer it. I opened the door and stopped in place. Night wasn't absolute darkness. No matter how dark or cloudy it was, the sky always gave some bit of light to us. However, I came to understand that it could be hard to see, even if there was a light. Everything I saw was covered by a dense mist. Combined with the pale moonlight, it made the area seem milky. It made it hard to get around. Regardless, I couldn't ignore the scream. There was something beyond this veil. I kept moving forward. Unless my ears were deceiving me, the scream belonged to a woman, and had come from the right. I couldn't let myself think that. Or rather, I didn't want to think that. The unknown was scary. Personally, I found that principle made my life really easy. I had more than enough fear from those sentence is getting me. I had more than enough fear from those which were directly threatening my life. I really didn't want to have the fear of losing someone as well. Change your line of thought, Haruaki. Solving the mystery might save someone. 2 birds, 1 stone. I began walking faster. Another scream. It was close. I realized I had to find a way to protect myself. I was unarmed, so I looked around for anything I could use as a weapon. I felt around to see if there were any branches or anything. Sadly, all I felt was grass. I went deeper and searched the ground itself. Soon I felt shit. Didn't mean to do that. Soon I felt something hard. It was a rock. A moment of digging later, I had it in hand. It was a bit smaller than my hand. I almost teared up at how useless it seemed, but it was better than nothing. I looked at the base of my feet and saw the grassy ground. I could easily move forward if I first checked the ground using my feet. And since it might have been close to the danger, I had to focus on what was ahead, too. I recognized the danger and, if possible, get rid of it. I concentrated entirely on that and stepped forward. I couldn't hear the screams anymore. But I could hear other things. A wet sound. The sound of something cracking. It filled my mind with countless things I didn't want to imagine. Even so, I kept walking forward. Forward. Until I saw it. Oh. My hypotheses were nothing but delusions. The truth is truly something you had to see yourself. But why? Why was this so scary in spite of being true? It wasn't supposed to exist. It couldn't exist. After all, it was a wolf with a humanoid body. And there's no such thing as werewolves. The next morning, in a paddy field in Fujiyoshi, Yasumizu, 3rd block, someone discovered a thoroughly mangled corpse. The clothes nearby led the discoverers to conclude that it was the traveler, Haruaki. He's still moving. Strangely enough, I could perceive this particular moment. Yomobitu, purge him! And so I... Goodbye, Haruaki-san. It was finished off by the girl. The feast begins. The last thing I heard. I'll hang the wolf. Was that? Raging loop. Well, we beat the game. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Unveiled Arrival. So what have we learned, Haruaki? Don't go out fucking side, you fucking idiot. Okay, obtain key 02, Werewolf and Resurrection. You can view it in the keys list. The route unlocked by this key is represented by the same number on the scenario chart. Makes sense. Game over. Bad ending number 2. Not number 1. Missed bad ending number 1. Watch Hint Corner? It's content, might as well. It's saying just go back to your last choice, right? Hey there, you've done it now, eh, Chief? This is my sheep voice, I guess. Me? Don't mind me, I'm just an insignificant interface character. You can call me Sheep. This is a space between dreams. That bastard Haruaki Fusaishi can't see it, so feel free to kick back and relax. That said, you can't stay too long. I'm busy, so let's get down to business. As you'd expect of a Hint Corner, I'm here to give you some helpful advice in your times of need. First, let's get all the game explanations out of the way. While I did say you've done it now, just before, you were actually fated to arrive here from the start. I mean, you only had one choice, right? There should have been one below it, but it had a lock mark next to it, and you couldn't pick it. No, but just so you know, redoing Chami Shirazawa's idiotic quiz is pointless. None of those choices will change a thing. I think it was explained to you back in the tutorial, but let's review Raging Loop structure just in case. As you just experienced for yourself, you will definitely die in Raging Loop. Why is that? Because many choices are locked, and you'll need keys to unlock them. These keys are spread throughout the story. You'll need to die to obtain most of them. That's why death is unavoidable. It seems Haruaki Fusaishi can retain his memories for the next time, even if he dies. This is a system to replicate that. So here's my first piece of advice to you. If you get stuck, try dying. There are many keys lying with the story's many bad endings. You can also obtain keys from some surprising outcomes. Of course, it's possible to get all the keys and finish the game without seeing all the bad endings, but I'll leave that up to your playing style. As for bad ending 02, also known as Toilet Man's ending, you need key 02 to avoid it. But that won't be a problem for next time. Did you notice? You already obtained key 02 by dying here. You can check the details of key 02 from the keys list in the menu, so you can check it out there. But basically, Haruaki Fusaishi now knows from experience he'll die if he goes out at night. That's what makes a new choice possible. You'll find more bad endings that you're forced to play through first in the future, so keep that in mind. Other times, you can keep going onwards for a long time without finding a key. Whenever you get a key, it's displayed with large red letters, so remember that part too. I think I've settled on my sheep voice. Haruaki Fusaishi will be sent back to the starting point after this. In other words, to the scene to the start of the game with him on his bike. You can reread everything from the start if you'd like, but you're going to die dozens of times from now on, so it'd be a pain to reread each time. So once you get a grip on the situation, use the scenario chart to jump ahead. You can jump to any scene you've read, before, whenever, and wherever you want. It's really handy. For example, you can open the menu, press the chart button, and go to 0, follow the scream, and dense mist, even right now. And Q, follow mist. Use the scenario chart to jump around. That's the key to completing Raging Loop. Incidentally, this marks the end of 2 dense mist. The so-called prologue is over. If you could pick the choice that was unlocked this time, the game's first main route, 3 Yomi, will begin. Good luck! Next time you come across a locked choice, look to the right side. You should see the number of the key you need to unlock it. The number appears on the scenario chart too. Makes it clear what's locked and what key numbers you need. Handy system, huh? By the way, here's a little tip. You won't be getting key 01 for a long time. You didn't miss anything, so relax. Just keep playing to your heart's content. Yeah, that took a while, and I'm busy. Well, that's enough for this time. Die another hearty death next time. Bye, sheep. Guess it was just a dream, right? Don't be... Oh, damn it. I skipped it. 5:11. Sun. Day. Alright. Dense mist. Follow the scream. Want to find out what happens when you keep still? So do I. We'll find out next time. It's been about an hour. That's the plan for these lengths, and this is about the perfect fucking time to stop. We died. It only took 2 episodes. I'm proud of us. Aren't you? But yeah, seriously, come back next time. Check it out. I'm really liking this game so far. This could be cool. This could be fun. Again, I have no idea how long it is until I hit that point where I can't stop recording, but until then, I'm going to keep recording. Not right now. Right now it's very, very late. I just really felt like playing more of the game, so when I got off work, I came back over here. I got back to work on this. It's like 4 in the morning right now. 4:30 to be precise. Terrible decision. But, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Next episode will be coming up. Whenever the next episode comes up, I don't know what the release schedule is going to be for this yet. Haven't thought it that far ahead. But, if you did like this video, like, subscribe, comment, do all that crazy stuff. Give your theories about what the fuck's going on. I mean, clearly it's werewolves now, we know that. But, like, why didn't I eat any food? Why was she keeping fruit from me? I don't fucking know. I feel like that's really important. I'm going to hold on to this fucking food thing forever. I hope that's what's up behind the lock of key 01. Food. Honestly, I'm just hungry, I think, maybe. I should get a snack. Alright, thanks again for watching, everybody. Hair's falling into my eyes. I will see you in the next video. Peace out. That's terrible.